Hey, it's Kirk, and we are at SMPTE 2015, reporting from yet another manufacturer's booth. This is Scott Engs. Hey, Scott, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Kirk. How are you?
I'm great. You're the chief optimist
Optimist. That is my official title.
at BW Broadcast.
That's correct.
So let's take a look at a couple of things that you've got on display here.
Sure.
I was real interested in, first of all, a transmitter that you have. It's right behind you. Let's walk over there and have a look at it. So this is a 2,500 watt transmitter?
Well, actually, it can be a 2,500 or a 3,500.
Oh, okay.
It's capable of about 4.2 kilowatts
Woo!
in hardware.
Okay.
But depending on how big the budget is of the customer,
Yeah.
they can select 2,500 or 3,500 watts.
Now, to me, this looks like a pretty simple design. I mean, it's. I'm sure there's a lot that goes into this layout, but it looks so clean. Tell me about designing a 3,500 watt transmitter.
Well, in fact, it's the same as designing any of our products. We try to make them incredibly simplistic.
Yeah.
So sometimes people look and say, hey, that's a bit basic, but actually, the less parts in a product, the less there is to go wrong.
Yeah.
So what do you want to know?
Well, okay, so look, I love getting inside of transmitters. All this is what, power supply side and input side, right?
So we've got two hot swap plug-in power supplies, which enables one, easy maintenance, two, it provides redundancy. Okay, and they allow the customer to have an easy-to-service solution. Because one of the biggest problems that I'm sure you're aware of is power supply spikes.
Sure, something goes bad.
Especially in emerging countries. So we wanted the customer to have the ability to change the power supplies easily, and if you're going to, rather than put one in, why not have two?
Sure.
Exactly.
And you can operate at a reduced power level just on one.
You can. It will run at half
So what's this
power.
board on the top now?
This board, actually, in keeping with our ethos of simplicity, is an integrated card which has analog inputs, MPX inputs, RDS inputs, AES inputs, and additionally, at no extra cost, a 4-band DSP audio processor. And it also has a 5-watt exciter card. And that 5-watt exciter card is what drives the power amplifier.
Okay, so the 5-watt RF comes out of that and goes over to what?
In this particular product, it goes over into a pre-drive stage, which takes the 5 watts up to about 20 watts. And then that is split across into 4 of the latest LDMOS rugged devices.
I was looking at those. These are these big wide things?
They are. They are. But here's something really, really cool.
Yeah?
We're one of the only manufacturers, I think, if not the only manufacturer, that doesn't solder in our transistors. You can actually...
What?
You can take this board off, which is a gold-plated clamp. And with only a screwdriver, you can replace the transistors.
Holy moly, I have burned myself silly replacing RF transistors.
I think we are the only company that does that.
Whoa.
So you've got 4 of these LDMOS devices. They're capable of 1.2 kilowatts each. We run them in the 3.5 at about 850 watts each. And then they go off into the combiner, into the low-pass filter, and out to the antenna socket.
Now we're showing a close-up view of the combiner right now. Can you tell us anything about how this combiner works?
Well, it's a standard Wilkinson combiner. It's some tracks on a PCB, a very, very expensive RF PCB that takes 4 inputs, down to 2 inputs, down to 1, and then that drives into the low-pass filter, which removes any harmonics that may be.
So that's these big coils here.
That's what they are, and the capacitors are printed on the PCB. Okay.
So what comes out is fully FCC compliant.
100%.
All the harmonics are way down.
They're down past 80 dB. It's clean as a whistle.
Now I see on the back here. Am I seeing an Ethernet port?
You are seeing an Ethernet port.
What do you get? Do you browse into that or what?
There's a HTML5 web remote control. In a moment, I'll show you on my smartphone how you can connect to it. So you can control from an iPad. It's not flash. There's no flash requirement like on some of the brands. So you can connect to it from anywhere. There's SNMP, there's Telnet capability, the serial capability. There's a HTTP API, because I know some engineers like to integrate commands into their own systems to control products in their network. So it's pretty flexible from a communications perspective.
Let's. I could talk about transfers all day long, but you've got another piece that's open over here. Can we go take a look at that? All right. So this is a platform that you have been developing for some time now, where you can turn this chassis into a number of different products.
Yes. I mean, I'll just to bore you with some business logistics. We manufacture so many different products over the last decade that it was like, how do we support all these products? How do we buy all these components, stock them, manufacture 20,000 different boards? So we said, hey, let's consolidate. So we designed a new platform that we call Encore. And Encore basically is one hardware chassis with one set of common boards, and it can be an RDS encoder, a stereo generator, a multi-band DSP audio processor, an audio backup device, a rebroadcast receiver, an FM monitor, pretty much anything. The slots in on the cards, on the PCBs, to enable us to fit up to 2 tuners. They can be 2 FM tuners.
So we're showing a close-up here of the tuner board right now.
There's only one fitted right now, which is just an FM.
Okay.
But we have capability to put HD and DAB into the second slot, or you could put 2 FM tuners.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Moving across into the digital board, I know you're pointing at that at the moment.
Okay.
We've got one 4th generation Shark DSP from Analog Devices that can do the basic RDS stereo generation and audio routing. Yeah. Routing for our American viewers. For the whole product. But we've actually got 3 extra slots to fit an extra 3 DSPs.
Yeah.
And as you'll see, I'm sure your viewers will get a close-up of this. We have these little stamp DSP cards, so that when you buy an Encore product, you can, at a later date, should we provide an additional feature, just put in a $50 additional cards, and they fit into these little slots as we can see here.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. And let's come around, bring the camera around, get a look at the front panel. Actually, you've got this one that's open, and then you've got a whole rack full of devices with different looking front panels.
Sure.
So this part of your philosophy of a single platform with different capabilities?
Exactly. The PCB behind the front panel is exactly the same. The boards in the chassis are exactly the same. The only differentiation is the machined aluminium, the position of the rotary encoder, the buttons, the overlay, and how many screens are in the product. Yeah. And the rest, as they say, as you know, is just software.
Yeah, all right. Hey, we've got to wrap it up real soon here, Scott. But tell me if people are interested in seeing your products, you have a website, I suppose?
Yeah, if you go to the www.bwbroadcast.com, then that's where you'll get the latest information.
Okay, bwbroadcast.com.
That's the one.
You guys are in England?
We are. We're based in London, England.
Dealers all over the world?
We do, and probably scmsinc.com is the best place in the United States.
Yeah. Good deal. Scott, thanks so much for your time,
It's really nice speaking to you,
Appreciate it.
And have a good time here in Sydney.
Thank you so much.
Okay.